The summer transfer window officially reopened today on June 16th, and business is finally picking up. Welcome back to Fog Football. It's the SPFL transfer roundup. We're into the second half of June, and like we pointed out, not much is happening. But Rangers, 25 million bids could be happening for Nico Raskin. Max Aaron's on his way. 15 million bids for Nicholas Kuhn. Celtic finally agreeing a deal with Nygren. We've also got Ryan Hardy joining Wrexham. We've got other clubs doing business. I'm ready to go, but let's go with the completion. Let's go with the completed deals. Ryan Hardy, right? This guy's never been called up for Scotland, but today Wrexham have signed him. And I tell you what, I don't like Wrexham as a club. The Americanisation of them. What do you call him? Ryan Reynolds and the other FUD. See, actually seeing what they're trying to do with football and the Americanisation. Now, that may sound rich coming from a Rangers fan who's just been taken over by the 49ers. But see if you actually look at the state of that Club World Cup, by the way, that competition is an absolute disgrace. And honestly, I think Americans need to lay their hands off of football, brother.
What is it you don't like about Wrexham? What they've done?
They've made it into a welcome to Wrexham, big TV show. And I also don't like the fact that they're a Welsh club playing in the English League. You know, it's almost like the Wrexham have become like the epitome of soccer. Like, it feels like an American club that is in it's an American club that's in Wales, but they're playing in England. If that makes sense.
It's a weird combination, like.
No, it is a weird combination. And it's like Wrexham don't really have like their identity is the fact that they're owned by Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool, that's what it feels like. I know people go, oh, but Rangers and the 49ers. Rangers are going to always be Rangers, right? Rangers were always Rangers. Wrexham were fucking hee-haw before Ryan Reynolds. That's my point. And you look at that Club World Cup, man. Chelsea versus Los Angeles, right? 71,000-seater stadium. They got about 20,000 in earlier on the day. It just shouldn't be Bayern Munich against Auckland City. Come on. It's the Americans... And they're talking about on Sky Sports. Oh, they need to tap into this market. Why? Well, why does the American market need to be tapped into? But to force a fucking Club World Cup. If they want to own a club, I can almost accept it. Well, I have to accept it, brother. You know what I mean? But see, forcing all the clubs coming over to play in a club, it's a fucking joke.
I don't get it. I mean, the majority of Americans don't even care for soccer or football. Call it what you want. I don't know what the obsession is with Americans trying to take over football. Like, most of America don't care, so what? See, instead of taking over football, why not just try and actually make football, make it more? Why don't you try and make it more popular in America before trying to bring Americans into like world football? I just don't get it. And rather than like Americans trying to force themselves on football around the world, why not try and make football in America, a bigger deal first? I don't get that.
No, I agree. And there was a guy earlier, he was like 50-year-old, he was talking about, a guy asked him, when did you start supporting Chelsea? Bear in mind, he's 50, he's like, ever since Christian Pulisic joined the Chelsea, that's when I became a fan. Which is obviously like, 5-6 years ago, and the guy's 50.
The Chelsea.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. The Blackburn Rovers.
Sean Muggles. Anyway,
I'm a big fan of the Blackburn Rovers. I mean, I assure you.
Hi, Sean Muggles. Yeah, that was a great interview.
Watches them every week. I'm sure you fucking do.
Sure you do. What you got on them, Sean?
Cooked at your fucking head, man.
Point is, I just think the Club World Cup's a joke. The World Cup a point where it's no hosted in America, right? It just shouldn't be happening.
And of course, they find a way to put Inter Miami in there. Because you need Messi playing.
I've never been a fan of it, right? But at least with the old format, it was the winners of like each federation's like Champions League. That to me makes a bit of sense. You've just got so many different fucking teams in it. Like, why are Chelsea in it? Why are Man City in it? Why are Atletico Madrid and Porto in it?
Something to do apparently with coefficient over the years.
Yeah, and Rangers apparently were supposed to be in it, but because all of Rangers' coefficient points were in the Europa League, they got essentially disqualified from it. So, there you go. The more you know. Anyway,
Well, how many Champions League fucking coefficient points does Auckland earn? Out of curiosity.
No, I don't really know. But
Yeah.
that was the European requirement or whatever.
Criteria.
Aye. Anyway, right, Wrexham. Let's talk about Wrexham then. Ryan Hardy. They've signed him for an undisclosed fee. Of course, he's a Plymouth man, formerly a Rangers. Big Ryan Hardy. Never called up for Scotland though. He scored the winner against Liverpool back in that iconic FA Cup tie earlier this year. Him, Nikola Katic, obviously the stars of the show. Are you surprised he's never been called up for Scotland yet to be capped?
Especially with the lack of options we up front. Ryan Hardy would have got a call at some point over the last few years.
Obviously, Wrexham are now in the Championship, so they'll be making a few better signings. I think it's a good deal.
Are Wrexham destined for the Premiership?
I think so. Yeah. Although what I would say is they had a lot more money than like I don't know what league within what's the league before League Two? Conference League North or something?
National or something.
National League. Oh, they had a lot more money than the teams in that. They had a lot more money than the teams in League Two. They were similar with Birmingham last year. They're in the Championship, different kettle of fish.
Yeah, it's
you need to fucking.
In Scotland, for example, if a team gets backed relatively well, you feel like they will come up through the divisions back to back, no problem. League Two, League One, Championship, but in England, I do feel it's different. No matter how much money or no matter how well they've been backed, and Birmingham have been backed as well. I do think when you get to the Championship and how competitive it is, you're gonna. There's no guarantee that you will come up straight away at least.
No, absolutely not. And
I just think the money involved in the Championship, and then you got the clubs that come down for the Premiership as well with their parachute payments. There's no guarantee. I do think the lower leagues, yes, absolutely. I'm a surprised that Wrexham's came up through League Two and League One, no, but I do think the Championship could be a different story.
No, I totally agree. But we'll move into some Celtic news then. So apparently, RB Leipzig are lining up a deal for Nicholas Kuhn, 15 million, 10 million short of the rumours fee for Nico Raskin. Is Nicholas Kuhn worth 15 million? Could he have went for more? Well, I'll tell you what, if you were asking us in January or December, fuck man, you'd probably have to at least double this. But
well, I mean, I am tempted to agree that Kuhn should be worth more than Raskin.
Year older, attacking player, which goes for more.
I mean,
done it in the Champions League, people will say.
At one point last season, people were describing Kuhn as unplayable.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever described Raskin as unplayable.
Is it natural to say that though when you're an attacking player?
Did Raskin hit the heights of Kuhn last season? At his peak, I don't think
probably not, right? Because like I say, people prefer attacking players, but at the same time, it's recency bias. Kuhn's dropped off the face of the cliff in terms of form. Raskin's form is at its peak right now, playing for Belgium. What happened in December is a distant memory for most people.
I'm sure, yeah, if Kuhn's best 2 months came at March, April.
Now, I valued Raskin at 15 million, and people, apparently I've been getting bashed across YouTube by certain individuals. But, I mean, what am I supposed to value Nico Raskin at?
Well, I did put a poll up, and I guess we'll react to that tomorrow about the value of Nico Raskin.
Yeah, but it's like I said about Raskin. It's like we're not talking about years of consistency. It's literally just 2025. Here, I think he's looked a step above the league this year. Honestly, he's looked brilliant. But he needs to do it. See, to go for like 30 million, which, I mean...
Yeah, he is also in the Belgian team ahead of Celtic's £11 million man.
No, but I touched on that, right?
People
are greeting about, well, he's won nothing, he did nothing with Rangers, right? I think our league is just in a predicament where getting called up for Belgium and starting games next to De Bruyne means more than winning a double for Celtic. And I think that's just the sad reality. I wish it was different. I wish winning league titles meant more.
I disagree. I don't think league titles. I hate that argument. I think it is absolutely retarded. There was a Rangers fan on Super Scoreboard, and he was like he mentioned Shankland, and he had no interest in coming to Rangers because Shankland had never won anything, and that he's sick of Rangers being linked to players that have never won anything. I'm pretty sure he mentioned like Boyle and stuff. It's like, we need to be going for winners. Just because you haven't won anything doesn't mean you're a good fucking player, especially if you look at Scotland, right? One team has dominated, one team has won all the trophies. That team is Celtic. Yes, they have the best players, but it's not like every fucking player in that Celtic team that has won trophies. It's not like they're the reason they won those trophies. You can be a bang average player and be in a successful team. And those trophies, you know, I mean, how many trophies has Scott Bain won? Technically, I mean, how many times is?
I think it's 14 or something.
And how? I mean, what's he contributed to them? Absolutely nothing. His biggest contributing season was the season Celtic won hee-haw.
No, I totally no. But so see when Ange rebuilt Celtic, how many players had won stuff before they came to Celtic?
Yeah, but I don't know, probably not many. But just to say that we don't want to sign up people that haven't won it, that logic's retarded. What if you haven't been in a team that's capable of winning something? Like people used to say that about Davy Moyes. Oh, he's never won anything, so he's done a great job at Everton. Now, is it possible that he maybe could have won a cup or a Carling Cup? Yes, but it's like some people will hold that against you because you haven't won a league title. It's like, unless you're managing the top teams in the league, you're not going to be winning league titles.
Yeah, but back to my point, do you not feel like... I mean, I disagree with it. I don't think it should ever be that way, but I just think teams down in England are going to view the fact that Raskin's playing for Belgium's better than being a part of a team that's winning the league up here. I think that's just the facts. I know Engels was a part of the Belgian team. He's been replaced, right, by Raskin or whoever. But I just think that's the way they're going to look at it. You not agree?
I mean,
even if it's wrong, because I don't think it should be the case, but that's what... See Nico Raskin, right? Rangers, his price tag would not be 25 million if he was nowhere near the Belgian team, but Rangers would won the league. I would boldly say that. So, I mean, and then you look at, I mean, how much Rangers get for Bassey? Like 20 million, 19.2 million, something in that ballpark. Who impressed you more, Bassey or Raskin? I mean, I would say Bassey. But Bassey doesn't. I mean, I think he might have got called up for Nigeria that season, but Nigeria ain't Belgium, right? And what you've got with Bassey, I mean, Bassey was carrying Rangers through games in the Europa League, man of the match performances, you know, standout performances, Dortmund, Leipzig, etc., etc. Was brilliant against Frankfurt, really unlucky. But again, Nico Raskin, you know, Raskin has some good games in Europe as well. It's undeniable, but it is one of those things. 25 million, yeah. I think it's about time teams in this country started asking for big amounts of money, and if Rangers think they can get 25, then they may as well fucking try and attempt to get it. But will Aston Villa pay it? Would he start for Aston Villa? I'd say he'd be near enough there. But in terms of Nicholas Kuhn, do you see him going to Leipzig?
Possibly.
15 million, 25. Would that be a good deal for Celtic, making about 11 million profit on him? 12 million, I think it would be.
It's decent money. Again, they need to replace him. Although maybe Nygren coming in, you could argue that's already their replacement. But this is a guy that was getting valued at 40 million last season.
Yeah.
But here, there's no guarantee that if Celtic keep him, he'll hit those heights again.
Absolutely not. But with the likes of Jota out...
You know, it is weird. It is weird, though, because, like, Kuhn, if we're being honest, over his Celtic career, he's been shite for more than he's been good. But yet people will always go, well, that 2-month spell, maybe that was just a purple patch.
I mean, I think it was longer than 2 months, was it not?
Nah, I'm pretty sure it was around 2 months. Like, all right then, 3 months.
I would say pretty much up until... I would say he peaked from, like, August to November, and then he was all right from, like, December to that Bayern Munich game. But ever since that Bayern Munich game where he scored the goal, that he's been shite. I mean, some people will argue most of the Celtic team's been shite. They've gave up kind of domestically since they got knocked out by Bayern Munich. But anyway, that's for a different day. Andy Robertson, Atletico Madrid want him. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, they're hoping that Liverpool will allow him to leave for free or a small fee. Why the fuck would Liverpool let a guy leave for free?
It just makes no sense.
I mean, he's 31-year-old, right? And as much as we've bashed him here, he is still one of the best left-backs in the world. I think that's undeniable. Hasn't really done it for Scotland, but he's done it for Liverpool. Now, according to the boot room, Atletico are prepared to pay around 20 million for Robertson. Liverpool have put to sign a left-back from Bournemouth for about 50 million, so it looks like he's kind of getting forced out that way. Discussed that earlier on in the day. Would Atletico Madrid be a good move? He's always talked about dreaming for playing for Celtic, but Tierney's just signed a 5-year deal. Robertson's older than Tierney by 3 years. Is it safe to say that Robertson might never actually get his dream of playing for Celtic while still at a decent level? Because he highlighted that, he emphasised that he wanted to be still at a good level.
See if he doesn't, and honestly, it would be a bit weird if he went to Celtic with Kieran Tierney there, because you've had the. I mean, could Celtic possibly have the same dilemma that Scotland had with Tierney and Robertson?
10 year out of date or something.
But honestly, if he wants to, if Robertson wants to play for, let's not kid it. Let's not fucking make excuses here. If Robertson wants to play for Celtic, he can. It's on fucking him. There's a way to make it happen, and it's to not be a greedy bastard and to take a pay cut. As long as he got left on his Liverpool contract,
a year, I think.
He can run it down. He can run it down and join Celtic on a free.
And also,
at the end of the season, and he can say to Celtic, what's the most amount of money you can offer me? What's the highest paid guy at your club currently on? They can say, well, it's this guy here, and he going, right, okay, match that.
No, you're right.
So see if he wants to play for Celtic, he can make it fucking happen. It's not like he's signed a 7-year deal for Liverpool and Celtic just don't have the money to break it. All he needs to do is wait one season and take a pay cut. And but he's got to think of his family. See this guy's not saved up enough money to do him for the rest of his life. I mean, realistically, he should be able to leave Liverpool at the end of this season and play for free.
And retire, never work again.
But let's not pretend.
You'll never work again.
But let's not pretend that Celtic won't be able to offer him a very good wage.
No, of course.
I mean, 99% of people in the world would be jumping at a Celtic wage.
You've hit the nail on the head, right? It's like, it's up to Robertson. It's not up to Celtic. Like, yeah, Celtic need to do something, right? They need to want him, right? Well, why wouldn't they want him? But you're right. If Andy Robertson's saying, here, I just want paid what the highest guy's getting paid, then they're absolutely going to accept that.
See if this was Martin Boyle and he hadn't went to Saudi yet. And then he goes and he wants to make the life change. And maybe you could say it's different. But this guy,
Robertson's done it.
Robertson's made his money.
He's been at Liverpool for like, what, 9 years?
Oh, no, Robertson, I don't know how much the guy's got in his bank, but, you know, if Robertson is... If his net value... I mean, he must be up about, what, 25, 30 million?
Yeah.
He'd have to.
No,
it's not just his salary as well. You think of sponsorships and stuff like that.
But I just think the problem is for Celtic, I just don't see a world where they have both Robertson and Tierney.
I don't see Celtic playing 5 at the back.
No. But then, you know, I don't know what the future holds for Scottish football, but they could easily just play one of them right back. Like, easily. Like, I mean, let's not pretend that, oh no, if Celtic play Robertson at left back but play Tierney at right back, they might struggle to beat St Johnstone at home.
Then people says, oh, well, you know, you can play Tierney at centre back and a back two. I think Tierney's best attributes are getting forward. I think playing him at centre back.
The point is, it would be a good headache to have for Celtic, but we'll move on. Wrexham apparently want.
By the way, I just want to go back to that comment I made. John McGinn had never won anything when he was at Hibs until he won that cup, right? And then he left, obviously. Lewis Ferguson didn't win anything at Aberdeen. See this logic where, we can't sign players that have never won anything? If you're signing player, if a player's in a team that isn't a top team, then it's unlikely that they're going to win anything. Doesn't mean they're not good fucking players. I've never understood that logic.
No, Robin Van Persie won fuck all with Arsenal, didn't he?
Not an FA Cup in there somewhere, no?
Well, he might have won that FA Cup against United, but point is, it's like he left Arsenal to go and win the Premier League. What's Van Persie no good? No, because he went and joined United and won them essentially that Premier League anyway. Wrexham want Stuart Armstrong and Barry Bannon, apparently. That sounds like Steve Clarke's fucking wet dream, that.
I tell you what, man, I don't think... I don't...
I can see Armstrong, man, but no, see Barry Bannon.
Yeah, he ain't the kind of guy that's going to get you the championship.
How's Barry Bannon 35?
I don't know, but I don't... if you want to get to the Premiership, I wouldn't be making signings like Barry Bannon.
No, absolutely not. And the final bit of news. Rangers. Max Aarons of Bournemouth. 9 appearances all in last season, alone at Valencia. Valued at like, what, 6 million. I think his highest value was 22 million. Pacey right back. Obviously, I played over 200 times for Norwich. Now, someone commented on my channel earlier saying that this guy, signing another guy from the depths of the English Premier League. Not, no, the English League, sorry. It's like, hold on. The guy played in La Liga last season in the Premier League. What's the lower league about him? I think Max Aarons would be a good signing on loan for Rangers.
Aye.
25-year-old, a lot of pace. Not, I mean, I think I wouldn't say the potential's gone from him, but if the guy's good enough to go to Valencia and play for Bournemouth, is he not good enough to play for Rangers?
Absolutely.
And I think, despite it being a loan, it could be phase one of getting James Tavernier at the club. So I think that's where we'll leave it. Cyril Dessers, £5 million apparently is the move, the fee, just waiting on confirmation. Rangers making a mistake getting rid of Cyril Dessers.
I think so, but it depends who they bring in to replace him, doesn't it?
That is it. Who will they bring in? We'll have to wait and see.
One last thing on the captaincy with Tavernier. Do you not think once you take the strip, once you strip the captain, like their time is almost done at the club?
It's like Sons of Anarchy, isn't it? You don't strip the president patch and then fucking expect him to sit there.
No, I know. It's
without them plotting.
Take it red eye. I mean, I'm just not convinced the whole Tavernier thing.
So is Tavernier going to bring in free nomads and wreak havoc here? If you know, you know.
Well, how does that conversation even go? Is it as simple as Russell Martin saying, "Look, Tav, you've been a great servant for Rangers, and I still plan on using you in some capacity, but realistically, I don't think you're going to be starting every game, and that a captain kind of should."
If Russell Martin had a set of balls on him, right, which not for me, apparently he doesn't, right. The first thing he should have done was strip Tav of the captaincy. He goes in and says,
"It's awkward though, isn't it?"
Well, you know what? I'd rather a bit of awkwardness if it meant we went on to win things. Does Tav just have leverage over everybody? See if Russell Martin rocked in and went, right, Tav, I don't really know you, right, but I'm seeing a wee bit of a conundrum here and a bit of a pattern. This football club is winning nowhere near enough. You've been a great servant. You've done this. You've done that. You've been a part of the team that was in the lower leagues. You've came up European final. You finally got them back to a league title. But the reality is 90% of the fans weren't ready. And you're old. You can't really play my style of football anyway. It's time we phased you. And the best way of doing that is taking that armband off you. And if you want to leave, I totally understand it. Goodbye. Thank you, James Henry Tavernier.
Would you make him vice captain, or would you just...
No, I'd strip him.
Altogether?
I'd strip him.
Who would you give the captain's armband to? There's only one guy I can think of, and I just...
John Suter?
I think John Suter is a leader. And
I like Raskin, but he'll be away, so...
I mean, there's not many... I don't think there's many Is that another reason why maybe Tavernier's had the cap? There's just not been that many
captains. You can always give it to somebody, though. I mean...
Who?
I know, but it's alright saying who now, but it's like, well, I mean, people's wanted Tav stripped for years.
Yeah, but what Rangers players in this current squad do you think would make good captains?
Good captains? Well, I like Dujon Sterling, the way he handles himself in interviews, calls it as how he sees it. John Suter's obvious, right? I look further forward than that.
Is Dessers captain material?
No. Fucking remember the outrage when Tav gave him the armband? People were fucking greeting, so was I. So, no, I don't think he is. It's not an easy job. I mean, I think if Rangers brought in like a Shankland or something, I mean, I've Lennon Miller. I'm not saying Lennon Miller would be straight away captain, right? But if you want to talk about a guy that could have led a Rangers midfield for 50, I've always fucking sell Raskin 25. Bring in Lennon Miller. Make him captain.
No, you ain't getting Lennon Miller. What about a young player? What about a Baron?
Bailey Rice.
Or the other guy who's
Lyle Cameron?
That's the one, right?
I'd rather get to Bailey Rice. But no, you're right. It's Tav just... But Russell...
The Scottish being help? Being Scottish help? Or do you not really think so?
It does a bit, but again... You know, a captain's a captain. At the end of the day, doesn't.
Well, here was Barry Ferguson no young when he got there, and I know
I think he was 19.
I know it's different because he's like a Ranger. You know, he was considered Rangers through and through and stuff. But You don't think maybe you shouldn't just rule out a player because maybe they're in their early 20s or.
No, not totally. I think that's why I'm no against giving it to somebody. But I mean, I know Billy Rice ain't going to get it, but see, giving it to Barry Ferguson, that was a bold thing at the time. I mean, giving the armband to someone that young, of course, is a bold thing to do, but it turned out to be correct, didn't it? But see, with Tavernier, man, it was an easy way for Russell Martin to win over fans, the doubters, the people that aren't happy. Clapton put it that way. No, but see if Russell Martin tells Tav like,
Yeah, but
you've been a part of a losing history here, and etc. 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 What's Tav's argument going to be?
I don't think he's got one. But can you also argue that Russell Martin has stood his ground and his principles, because it would have been getting easy browning points. He could have took the heat off himself by coming in. I think and stripping. I think all the fans that were unsure, I think he'd have got a lot of them by his side, going, "Oh, I'm glad he's come in and done that."
Was that not the correct thing to do then?
I know, but maybe he does.
Unless he's saving the ammo for later on when we're 9 points off in October, and he's like, "Right, see you, Tav. It's time to go."
Possibly. Anyway, time to go. This video's dragged on.
Anyway, good lot of rants in there. We'll be back tomorrow. Till next time. Peace.